Ultra-processed foods pose a hidden but significant threat to hormonal health, not only through their nutrient content but also via the chemicals they introduce into the body. One of the most concerning issues is the exposure to endocrine-disrupting chemicals, EDCs, which are substances capable of interfering with the body's hormone systems. These disruptors are often found in the packaging materials of ultra-processed foods as well as in certain food additives, creating a dual pathway through which hormone balance can be destabilized. Hormones regulate nearly every aspect of human physiology, from growth and metabolism to reproduction and mood. So even subtle disruptions can have far-reaching and long-lasting health consequences. One of the most infamous EDCs associated with ultra-processed foods is bisphenol A, BPA, a chemical widely used in the lining of metal cans, plastic containers, and food packaging to prevent corrosion and contamination. BPA can leach into food and beverages, especially when containers are heated or damaged. Once ingested, BPA mimics the structure and function of estrogen, a key sex hormone, binding to estrogen receptors and altering normal hormonal signaling. This interference can lead to hormonal imbalances that affect reproductive development, fertility, and metabolic regulation. While regulatory agencies have taken steps to limit BPA use, it remains pervasive, and substitutes like BPS and BPF may carry similar endocrine-disrupting properties, raising concerns that the problem is far from solved. The effects of BPA and similar chemicals extend beyond reproductive health. These disruptors can also interfere with thyroid hormone function, critical for regulating metabolism, energy balance, and brain development. Disruptions in thyroid hormone signaling have been linked to weight gain, fatigue, cognitive deficits, and mood disorders. For infants and children, who are especially vulnerable to hormonal interference, exposure to EDCs during critical periods of development can have lifelong consequences, including increased risks of developmental delays and hormonal cancers later in life. In addition to packaging materials, ultra-processed foods themselves may contain additives that act as endocrine disruptors. Some preservatives, plasticizers, and synthetic dyes have been found to affect hormone receptors or alter hormone metabolism. For example, phthalates, used in plastic food wraps and containers, can leach into fatty foods and disrupt androgen and estrogen signaling pathways. These chemicals are associated with reduced sperm quality in men, earlier puberty onset in girls, and increased risks of hormone-related cancers such as breast and prostate cancer. Another concerning aspect is that ultra-processed foods often cause metabolic dysfunction through their poor nutritional profiles, excess sugars, unhealthy fats, and artificial ingredients that can indirectly disrupt hormone balance. For instance, diets high in refined carbohydrates and added sugars promote insulin resistance, a state in which the body's cells respond poorly to insulin. This condition is a precursor to type 2 diabetes and is closely linked with hormonal disturbances, including increased production of androgens in women, which can contribute to polycystic ovary syndrome, PCOS, and fertility issues. The combined impact of direct chemical exposure and poor diet quality creates a compounded threat to hormonal health. Chronic exposure to endocrine disruptors may not produce immediate symptoms, but the slow accumulation of hormonal imbalance can manifest over years as reproductive difficulties, metabolic disorders, mood changes, and increased cancer risk. The silent nature of this disruption makes it difficult for individuals to recognize the source of their health issues, leading many to remain unaware of the connection between their diet, environment, and hormonal well-being. Moreover, the fact that ultra-processed foods are often consumed daily, sometimes multiple times per day, means that exposure to these harmful chemicals is constant and cumulative. This ongoing intake increases the likelihood that hormone systems will be persistently disturbed, reducing the body's ability to maintain homeostasis and respond to natural hormonal signals. Vulnerable populations, including pregnant women, infants, and adolescents, are at particularly high risk, as hormonal disruptions during critical developmental windows can have irreversible effects. The public health implications of endocrine disruption linked to ultra-processed foods are vast. Hormonal imbalances contribute not only to reproductive and metabolic diseases, but also to broader issues such as obesity, diabetes, thyroid disorders, and mental health conditions. Addressing this issue requires more than just focusing on nutrient content. It demands careful regulation of food packaging materials, stricter safety testing of food additives, and greater consumer awareness about the hidden chemical exposures associated with ultra-processed diets. Ultimately, protecting hormone health means rethinking the role of ultra-processed foods in our diets and food systems. Reducing reliance on packaged, additive-laden products in favor of fresh, minimally processed whole foods can significantly lower exposure to endocrine disruptors and support natural hormonal balance. Without such changes, the subtle but profound harm caused by these chemicals will continue to accumulate silently, contributing to a growing epidemic of hormone-related health problems that are difficult to treat and even harder to reverse.